First up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Coach, congrats on the win, but obviously Chris is the, focal. What's the status of his shoulder?
I don't know the particulars of what happened. I was so locked into the game. I just know he was sore. I talked to him briefly just now, and, his words to me was, he was okay and he'll be okay going forward. But he was pretty sore when he came back. But him playing today gave us a lot of juice, a lot of energy. It was inspirational to watch him out there giving his all on both ends of the floor. We'll have, something more official as we go forward, but right now I don't have much.
Quick follow, Coach. You've always talked about leaning on the defense, and did you feel like that was the difference tonight with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to, impress upon our guys in the playoffs. Defense and rebounding translates. A lot of the time, their plays, they know your plays, and it comes down to being able to properly space, and you got to make shots. But the defense and the rebounding is something that can translate from the regular season to postseason. And our defense was decent tonight. Those guys missed shots for sure. I don't want to say too much until I watch the film, but the effort was there on both sides of the ball. I mean, both teams were just going blow for blow, and we came out on the positive side tonight.
Next up is Sierra Santos with Fox 10, followed by Kellen Olsen.
Monty, what can you say about the crowd and the energy you guys were getting? And then on top of that, how crazy is it that this is just game one?
Yeah, I didn't anticipate that tonight. It was weird. I'm not quite sure how many people we had in the arena tonight, but when I came out and saw that many people and heard the noise, I was like, holy smokes, this is pretty cool. I had to get myself under control emotionally because I hadn't been in that environment in a long time. And it certainly helped us tonight to have our fans, as crazy as Suns Nation is, going nuts like that for our guys. It was pretty cool to be involved in that. I've experienced it on the other side as an opponent, but it was pretty cool tonight to have that many people in the gym cheering for our team.
Next up is Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports, followed by Melissa Rowland.
Hey, Monty, coming into the game, you told us about poise, and this was not just a regular playoff game. There was Chris's injury, there was Cam's ejection, and you guys didn't lose rhythm through that. How proud are you of your young players and their playoff debut thriving through a game like this?
Well, that's something we've been talking about as a team, as a staff. There's going to be a moment in the game where you have to regulate your emotions. And we knew that they were going to be more physical in the second half. We just saw what they did in the Golden State game. And so we were somewhat prepared for it. But then when a guy gets ejected, you have to regulate yourself even more. And we just talked about our guys having poise after the game. It's one game. You're playing against the defending champs. It's a situation where you're grateful for the win, but you have to come in tomorrow with a heightened sense of awareness and respect for who you're playing against, have an appropriate fear for two of the greatest players who've ever played the game, and come in with even more poise and energy and focus as we go forward.
DeAndre did a heck of a job on Anthony Davis. Your thoughts on his performance as a whole tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he, to play in his first playoff game and have that kind of production on the offensive end, have 16 rebounds. I thought DA was pretty sound as far as not going for pump fakes and having a stick hand up. Anthony missed some shots, but I thought DA did a really good job of just trying to stay in front of him. He's an all-world player, and so DA is going to have to be even better in game two. We know what we're going to face when we play these guys again.
Next up is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, and then Anthony Slater.
Hey, Monty, you talked about how Chris Paul's toughness gave you guys a lot of extra juice tonight. Can you talk about in what ways you saw that really manifest?
I mean, anytime a guy lays it on the line physically like that after taking that kind of a hit, going in the back and then coming out and playing, it gives you juice. And then you think about every experience Chris has had, how many games he's played, everything he's accomplished. Nobody would have faulted him for not coming back. But when he did come back, and we could see the emotion on his face, and I thought that drove our guys. I got emotional just watching him battle tonight. And you know, I love Chris. He and I have been friends for a long time. And so I had to think about his well-being, but also trust him that he was okay. But it gave not only our team juice, but I think it gave our fans a jolt to see him come back and play in the game.
Next up is Anthony Slater with The Athletic, followed by Kirsten Suso.
What did you think of, or what did Booker's passing give you really in that first half when, considering how the Lakers were playing him?
Well, Book has this reputation as a scorer, but he's an unbelievably good passer. And not only did he pass well tonight, but he was doing a really good job of pulling the double team away from the paint. And that opened up stuff for us on the backside. He's always been a good passer. He makes the right passes. When he sees the double team, he gets off of it. That's who he is. And he probably doesn't get enough credit for his willingness to pass and the high level of passing that he displays on a night in, night out basis.
Final two questions are Kirsten Suso with 12 News and Gerald Briguet.
Hey, Monty, the arena got pretty chaotic during the situation that led to Cam's ejection. Can you kind of explain just how crazy it was? And then on the broadcast, they had you mic'd up saying, this is our moment in the huddle. What did you want your team to take away from that moment?
Well, we've had situations in the past where we didn't necessarily handle those moments well. And, I've been around long enough to know that can change a game. When there's an ejection or there's some physical activity on the floor. We've been talking about this, as I said, for a long time. And so this is one of many moments as we journey through these playoffs that we have to handle well. And I thought our guys deserve the credit for not only being prepared for it, but executing out of that stoppage of play well. It certainly helps to have that happen on your home floor and have your fans behind you.
Final question is going to be Gerald Briguet with Fansided.
Hey, Coach, you had mentioned before the game how key it was to, once Anthony Davis and LeBron James missed their shots, you guys grabbed the rebound because of their size. You out-rebounded them by 14 and on the offensive glass as well. What do you think of just the team effort on that front, since I know that was important heading in?
Yeah, it doesn't help if we don't have our guards and wings getting in there to help DA out. I mean, DA had 16, but, Book had 7. Mikal and Jay, had 4. Chris had 4. Cam Johnson had 6. So it's a term we use all the time, gang rebounding. And sometimes it gets lost in translation. We had great team rebounding tonight. Our team stayed in there and got enough boards to get that type of advantage. We had one segment on the free throw box out where they got a couple of them, and that kind of changed the game a little bit. And then we got DA back in the game, and he took control again with his ability to create space, but his ability to rebound out of his position.
I'm going to go ahead and get started here with Cody Cunningham with Suns.com, followed by Christos Saltis.
Hey, Buck, great game out there. Just what was your approach and your mindset heading into the game, and what kind of advice were you able to receive from the veterans on this team in order to, play as prepared as you were?
I mean, I've been watching the playoffs for a very long time and, a student of it and dissecting it. So just, understanding that, it's a next play mentality. There's going to be some play-through calls. It's going to be a high-intensity game. Like tonight, there's going to be something that goes on. But keep the tunnel vision. That's what it was tonight.
And, the arena was absolutely electric. Just how much did you guys feed off the fans tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling, man. I've reiterated a few times, this city's been waiting on this for a very long time, and you could feel that tonight.
Next up, we have Christos Saltis with Sports DNA in Greece, followed by Kellen Olsen.
As well. Is it kind of a statement the way that you won tonight and the whole performance, the 48 minutes from your side as a team? And what would you like to maintain to the next games?
I don't think you can make statements, versus a team like this, the defending champs. They've been down this road before. But, we just have to worry about ourselves, honestly, and, just come in with the, ready to play for a full 48 minutes. And then that's it.
Next up, we have Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports, followed by Cameron Cox.
Hey, Book, you told us on Friday that watching the play-in, it was telling you to have this mentality of next play up, don't get lost on possessions. And, man, this was a game to do that, right, with Chris's injury, Cam's ejection. How do you think your guys' mentality throughout the week helped you guys stay focused for tonight?
I wouldn't even say throughout this week. It's been a whole year of it. It's been a summer of it, preseason, off season. These are the moments that we've been waiting on. Coach Monty always preaches, when preparation meets opportunity, and it's that time right now.
As a teammate, how proud are you of DeAndre with the way that he played and stepped up against Anthony?
Yeah, that's next level. You could see it. You could see it in his face pregame that he was ready to go. And as a collective whole, us being on him a lot during the game, getting him prepared for this moment. He responded to it and he stepped up, so that's big time.
Next up, we have Cameron Cox with 12 News in Phoenix, followed by Brendan Clean.
Hey, Book, congrats on the win. What did you make when Chris went down? What were some of the thoughts that were going through your head? And how proud are you of the way the team played when he wasn't in the game?
Obviously my first thought, was his health, and hopefully the injury wasn't too bad. And, obviously very excited to see him come back out and into the game. The team responded, we huddled up, and Chris has been a leader for us throughout this whole season. And, a lot of us rely on him at, every point of the game, so to see him down like that in pain, it's obviously tough. But we know he's a fighter, and we have a team full of fighters. So, I think they went on a little run after he went down, and we responded well to it.
Next up, we have Brendan Clean, followed by Catherine Fitzgerald.
Hey, Book, just looking at this game, LeBron and AD were 31 points combined, and you were in position a lot to be the one doubling those guys when they were down in the post or different spots. How did you guys think you executed the game plan on limiting those two?
We did well tonight, but, it's one game. No matter how much we won by, no matter how we played, game 2 is going to be a whole different opportunity. But, it's obvious what those guys are capable of, and we just try to make it tough on them.
If I could just follow real quick on that, it seemed like it was an emphasis from you guys to try to get out in transition early. You guys had some success doing that. Again, similar question, just how did you feel about the execution there? Is that something you think you can go back to in this series?
Yeah, I mean, if we can get stops, if you're not taking the ball out the net, it's easier to do that. But, that's the pace that we've been playing at a lot of this season, and that's when our offense has been most efficient, I feel like.
Next up, we have Catherine Fitzgerald, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Devin, I know there was so much made about you getting to today, but at the same point, so many people saying how you've been ready for this. So were there any moments today where you felt a bit more of those emotions or anything different than what you expected going into today?
I was ready for it. Very excited for it. From, this whole week of building it up and these whole past 6 years of, getting ready for this moment. So, there's something going on inside me, but, it went away quick.
All right, next up, we have Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Cameron Cox.
Well, I was going to ask about your first playoff game, but obviously you just answered that. So I'll ask, as the game went on, how much did it just become another game for you, and just as you've played throughout your whole life?
Honestly, it's a little different. The intensity is different. The physicality is different. But that's only one game. So let me get a series under my belt to, fill it out a little bit more, and I'll have a better answer for you.
Quick follow though. I was curious about, there were stretches in the game where it got heated. Obviously the skirmish there where Payne got ejected, and coach said before the game he was like poised. That was the first word he used in describing what you guys were. How much do you feel like you guys lived up to that in this game tonight?
I think we lived up to it well, but we can still be better. It's easier said than done after the game when the emotions aren't going, but we have to be better in those situations. Cam came to me in the locker room. First thing he said is my fault. He wanted to be out there for us, and just understanding that there's going to be some of that extra going on. But we have to have the right mentality, next play approach, and just get it done.
Next up, we have Cameron Cox, back to 12 News, followed by Greg Moore.
Look, what'd you make of the crowd tonight? For so long, you've talked about playing in this arena with a crowd like that. Just what did you think of it?
Yeah, it was in there. We could hear them. It felt great from pregame on. You can feel that energy, and I think that's what we needed.
All right, two final questions here. Next up, we have Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, followed by Dave King.
Thank you. Hey, Devin, good to see you, man. Congratulations on the win, man. Thank you. Tell me what you thought about your teammates' intangibles all game.
Intangibles?
Yeah, toughness, rebounding, being in the right spot, just responding to the moments properly.
I loved it. But I don't question anybody in this group. We've been together for, not that long, but a full year now, and, just understanding everybody's character and understand of, what we say is, how they're built. We have a team full of built individuals, that are ready for this moment and been waiting for it for a long time.
All right, our final question comes from Dave King.
Hey, Devin, you've had most of this year deferring to Chris Paul at point guard, having him run the show, and you're playing in the shooting guard role. Tonight, you had to take over a lot of the playmaking duties with Chris Paul hobbled a little bit, and you got the 8 assists. Did you feel that way, that you needed to take over some of the play creation for not only yourself but for others too?
100%. Just impose my will to the point, where it puts the defense in rotation and try to make the right play. I think they were doubling me a little bit, hit defense, so trying to get off of it quick. We have 4 other guys that can play out there, and 10 more on the bench. So I trust everybody on this team, and when somebody doubles, it's easy for me to give it up right away and put them in rotation.
All right, Mikal, thank you for joining. First up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Mikal, how was that first playoff experience tonight?
It was good, man. We happy we got the win. Missed a lot of freebies today, layups, so get that out of the way. But it was fun, just electricity in there. It's been a long time since I feel like I've been in the gym when it's packed. It's been so long. So got the nerves going a little bit. I was like, okay, get used to it again. But it was fun, man. Just competitive game, both sides, and we just, went out at the end.
Wanted to ask really follow about Chris and how is he feeling, and how worried were you guys when he went out, and how were you guys when he came back in?
I think he's doing fine. He just, he knows his body more than anybody. So I know he's gonna do a great job of taking care of and letting us know. But yeah, we definitely, I don't want to see nobody, especially nobody on the other team, no opponent, but especially not our own guys going down. Just was praying for him, hope he was okay. And he came back and, just rally with him. When he went out, we hold it down for him. Even if he didn't come back, so we was gonna hold it down for him. But he came back and fought through it. He's tough. He's not gonna give in. I know he's been hurt in playoff series before, and I knew he definitely didn't want to miss out on this one.
Next up is Kent Sommers with the Arizona Republic, and then Kellen Olsen.
What was the reaction like in the huddle when you guys did see him come back during that timeout? And he obviously wasn't 100%, but what about him allows to, compensate and still be productive?
Just him being Chris Paul, just him being a leader, playing in a game so many times and talking and communicating, being in the right spots. He scored a couple of times, which I didn't even think he was actually going to make. But other than that, he was still doing what he was doing. I know he was hurting, but he was still out there communicating and giving it his all.
Next up is going to be Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports, followed by Melissa Rowland.
Hey, Mikal, there was a lot made about the amount of playoff debuts that you guys were going to have. You were one of them. But for you guys to remain poised in this type of game where Chris gets hurt, Cam gets ejected, all these things can happen. What do you think it says about the team to do that in spite of everything that happened?
We're just staying together. Times get tough, we don't separate, we stay together, and we're going to fight through it together, no matter what the situation is. And that's why I love these guys, coaches as well. We're going to stay true to ourselves. We're going to stay together, and we're going to, lock in even more.
It was huge nights for both DeAndre and Devin. What were your thoughts on their performances tonight?
Unbelievable. Just Book being aggressive, and DA, being aggressive as well. A lot of key points he had with the offensive rebounds and just stuff that hurts other teams that DA was doing, and Book just being Book, man, getting to that basket, hitting tough shots. That's who he is, man. He's been ready for the moment, and he's always going to be who he is.
Next is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, followed by Greg Moore.
Before or during obviously such a huge game, did Chris Paul say anything to you that really resonated in terms of you staying so cool, calm, and collected during the game?
I think just us just talking before as a team, and we knowing the time, we know we play basketball, this game of runs. We'll make a run, they make a run. Don't get too high, don't get too low. And that's what actually what C told us is to never get too high, never get too low, especially in games, because momentum, guys are good, teams are really good. They wouldn't be here if they weren't this good. So that's all he told us, just to stay locked in, and we make a run, don't get too jumpy and excited, and they make a run, don't get too low and down. So I think that's the biggest words and key and words he said to us.
Final two questions are Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, and then Catherine Fitzgerald.
Hey, Mikal, congratulations on the win, man. So how'd you guys keep your composure in all of those really hot moments where it could have gone either way?
Just staying together. Like I said, Coach Monty just does a great job, just keeping us together as a team, when times get tough. And that just shows the poise we have and togetherness we have as a team. And we're just going to keep building.
Final question is Catherine Fitzgerald with the Arizona Republic.
Hey, Mikal, you had mentioned that Devin was ready for this moment. He's been ready for it, but was there any time either pre-game or during the game that you kind of noticed it hitting him that this was finally his playoff debut?
No, not really. I think fans might, they've been here for 5 years, 6 years, 6 year. So they've been waiting for it. It's my first time here, his first time here. I'm just thinking, he's got to get to it, and that's what he did. And I'm not thinking that's his playoff game. Just know his book, and we're gonna need him to do what he has to do for us to keep winning and playing well. So I just, I expect things like this from him.
All right, Chris, thanks for joining. First up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Cameron Cox.
Thank you. Chris, appreciate you coming out, obviously, with the shoulder. A, how does it feel? And B, how much pain were you in out there with that?
I'll be all right. I just kept thinking to myself, get through the game. I know I got a great team around me, people that help me work on my body and stuff like that all the time, as well as the Suns organization. So I'll be all right.
Wanted to follow up on that. We were watching it, trying to figure out how it exactly happened. Can you take us through how you suffered that?
I don't know. I ain't seen it yet. I was going up and I just remember I felt, I heard like some cracks or whatever. So
So
yeah,
you think you'll be good going the game too?
absolutely.
Thanks, sir.
Next up is Cameron Cox with 12 News, and then Broderick Turner.
Hey, Chris, how proud of you of the way your team played when you weren't out there? And it also seemed like when you came back, you gave them a little inspiration too as well.
Man, that's how we've been all season long. We've been a complete team. So I wasn't worried. When I go out, campaign comes in. I was mad Cam got ejected just because he's such a big part of our team. But things happen. It's an emotional game. But this game was representative of how we've been all season long. Next man up. We just play together.
Next up is going to be Broderick Turner with the LA Times, followed by Melissa Rowland.
BT, you gotta unmute yourself. Come on now, old school.
Hey, thanks, CP. I appreciate that, man. How you doing anyway?
I'm well, and you, man?
I'm doing great. Look, I've covered you when you play with the Clippers, and I've seen you fight through injuries. Where does that drive and determination come from that allows you to get back up and keep playing?
Well, it's funny, man. Last night, my trainer, David Alexander, actually sent me this like four-minute clip on Kobe. It was crazy. I listened to it before the game again, and Kobe just talking about the work ethic that you put in and stuff like that. And he, in the thing, Kobe says, like, injuries, sometimes you just can't control them. So that was all that was going through my mind when I got hit. But once I got here to the back and, they checked me out and knew if there was any way I could play, I was going to.
Thank you.
This is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, and then Anthony Slater.
Hey, Chris, Monty said that nobody would have blamed you if after suffering that injury, you didn't return to the game. Did that even cross your mind for a moment?
No, once I seen, what it was or what I couldn't do, Willie Green came up to me and he was like, all they took away is your shooting. You know what I mean? So figure out ways to make plays. And we just got such a good team. And that's one game. That's one game there. But, if there's a way, you always want to make sure you don't hurt your team. But we just scrap.
Final two questions are going to be Anthony Slater with The Athletic and Gina Mizell.
Yeah, Chris, you've long been one of the league's best passers. Can you describe how difficult some of those Devin Booker passes were tonight? Pings to the corner and tip passes as he's falling down.
I gotta go back and watch the game again. Book was he was great tonight. It was crazy. It's a lot of those situations where like I had a ball or I want the ball to orchestrate it just to see him manage the game. And I was just out there kind of mad at myself that I couldn't help him more, but I think, everybody been waiting to see him in a playoff game and you got to see it.
Final question is Gina Mizell with Suns.com.
Hey, Chris, you guys were able to get out and really push the pace, especially early on in the game. Was that an emphasis heading into the game, and how much do you feel like that maybe just set the tone overall?
We just tried to push the tempo. That's how we try to play every night. Really fed off our crowd's energy. It was crazy. I got out there for warm-ups, and I was like, dang. Like to see, fans back courtside, the energy in the building. I've been here for a whole season, and it's the first time it's felt like the Phoenix Suns that I used to play against on other teams. So it was nice to see all the fans here and all the people.
DeAndre, thanks for joining us. First up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olsen.
DeAndre, was that first playoff experience like you imagined?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was intense. It was fun.
Wanted to follow that up with you matching up with Anthony, how you felt like you did in those moments and just being able to help this team get this win tonight.
Just my guys having my back, helping me with AD. Just trying to play hard and try to, just match the energy as best as I can. and just throughout the game. Those are great players, and can't tell when, when they'll make great plays. So just being ready, and that's about it.
Next is Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports, followed by Christos Saltis.
Hey, DeAndre, it looked like Monty and you guys were just really emphasizing pushing the pace early. How would you assess you guys did that? The fast break points were really up compared to where you guys normally have them.
I mean, that's how we play. We're young guys and we like to run. We just try to keep to that.
Next up is going to be Christos Saltis from Greece, followed by Gina Mizell.
Hey, DeAndre, congratulations on the win, the performance as well. Is it kind of a statement for you as a team, the way that you won tonight and you set the tone from the beginning of the game? And what would you like to carry on to the next games?
Just making sure we stay together. Once we keep, emphasizing togetherness, playing as a unit, we'll be fine.
Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, followed by Nicole Jarina.
Hey, DA, just when you saw Chris go down, what was your first reaction? And then how much of a jolt did it give to you guys when he came back onto the bench?
We all knew it was a basketball play, nothing intentional. We just know it was an awkward position for him and probably got hit bad. But, just how both teams really, it was bigger than basketball. When you saw both teams hovering around him and making sure to see if he was okay, that was the big part about it that really, warmed everybody's heart. That was on the floor, really, although we're competing, trying to kill one another to get a win. But, at the end of the day, it's still basketball. It's bigger than basketball. And, just seeing C go down and him getting back up, it just shows the type of time it is and type of environment we're in. We have to be ready. It's going to be players like this. And it's all about being together and knowing the task at hand.
Overall, just what do you think of the crowd today?
Crowd was amazing. I told C today, I was like, that's the most intense game I've ever been in my life. I've never, I was really just quiet the whole time, just trying to play hard. I was just really embracing everything that was going on. And the fans that was a concert. That was a concert.
All right, DA, final question is Nicole Jarina from Puerto Rico.
Hi, Ayton. Congrats for the win. A little follow with the fans. How you feel when you compare with the bubble, be here, win your first game playoff? How you feel with all the experience?
Coming out the bubble, what we brought out of there was, us knowing each other's personnel to its finest, having your brothers back, building relationships that's beyond basketball and, just bringing it into this new season. New players, a new team, it's really contagious, and that's what we're doing on the court. Just playing together, and we're standing by that.
And also, how you feel with your defense today, in this way in the court?
To be honest, I give it to my teammates having my back, telling me what to do, telling me where I'm at on the floor. So I give it to them. I think they did a pretty good job on having my back on the back end when it was time to box out and rebound.